Well, we all know that healthy nutrition can keep our bodies in good shape, but eating right is also crucial for your brain health. And here to share some tips for the best way to feed your brain is Crystal Phillips. Now, Crystal has an interesting story. You have MS, and she's used nutrition as part of her healing. So, in fact, Crystal is marking her 8th year drug-free and relapse-free from MS because of that, and also the founder of Branch Out Neurological Foundation to fund research into non-pharmaceutical approaches to neurological disorders. Welcome to you. It's quite the background and the journey that you've had. So tell us about how you turned to nutrition in the first place to help you deal with MS.
Yeah, for sure. So I grew up as a competitive speed skater I did that for 20 years, and a huge part of your sports performance was always all the things you do outside of the ice too. So all of the training, and then nutrition was a huge part of that. And when I had the shocking news and event of being diagnosed with MS at age 17, I decided to take those same resources that I had on the national team with speed skating and apply it to my health. And nutrition was such a huge part of that. And it really was, once I started to dial in my nutrition and all of the other natural holistic things to treating my nervous system, as well as trying to increase my sports performance, all of a sudden my relapses in MS became fewer and further between. And when I had them, they weren't as severe.
Okay, so what were some of the immediate responses that your body had just from manipulating your nutrition?
Well, one of the interesting ones was I heard that healthy fats were really good for the brain. And I was like, oh, well, I'm a speed skater. I don't want to gain too much weight. Like, I still want to be a fast skater. So I quadrupled my fat intake because I was like, I got to take care of my brain. I've got to take care of my MS first. And I quadrupled my fat intake, and I actually lost body weight. Which then I realized after more research that healthy fats actually help you lose body fat. So that was really cool. And then I started to get more clarity, better sleeps at night. My focus and mental capacity just started to improve, and then the overall inflammation in my body was decreasing.
Okay, so let's go through some of the good foods for the brain, and what are they?
So I have some examples here, and I decided to cater it to a Cinco de Mayo because that's what it is today. So thankfully,
good idea.
Thankfully, a guacamole is fitting for the day, but also really fitting for brain health. I can go on and on about all the different foods that are good for brain health, but the two things that I found as 10 years as working as a nutritionist, the things that are missing are your sulfur-bearing vegetables and your fats.
Okay.
So I brought some examples of both of these categories. So when I say sulfur-bearing vegetables, I mean your cauliflower, your onions, your garlic, things that...
These are vegetables that are high in sulfur content?
Yes.
Got it.
Thank you.
Okay.
Yeah. So one example is a cauliflower, and I particularly like the example of the cauliflower because it kind of looks like the brain. So I call that nature, when nature does some pretty neat things.
Life,
and
same with the walnut, actually.
Exactly. So I brought the walnuts, who kind of look like the brain as well. So those are good examples, the cauliflower especially, the onions and the garlic. Those are all great examples of the sulfur content vegetables. And often when we think, okay, eat more vegetables, we all know we need to. We think peas, carrots, and...
the basics.
Yeah, the basics. And so those are good, but they're not the best when it comes to nutrition, and it's not the best for brain health. So it's talking about all the different types of vegetables and putting them in and getting a diverse amount of them throughout your diet. So again,
the healthy fats, we can see avocado.
Exactly. So the healthy fats would be the walnuts, the avocado, fish, coconut oil, you name it. And we want to avoid the trans fats. So those are the fried fats, the French fries and fried
French
chicken
fries aren't
and
good
all
for
that
you?
stuff. No.
Darn it. Okay, great. Thank you so much, Crystal. This is great information, and you're an excellent example of someone who has really used nutrition to your benefit. So great. Thank you for sharing that with us this morning.